Virginia Tech versus 7th-ranked North Carolina. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here at the Gator Bowl, and we have a series that started in the last century, back in 1895. But the last meeting was in 1946, the 27th time that Carolina and Virginia Tech have met on a football field. And first, here is Virginia Tech. The Hokies head coach is Frank Beamer. Carl Torbush is the head coach of Carolina. He is the 6th head coach to debut in a bowl game. He is in the press box. And North Carolina takes the field led by their strength and conditioning coach, wide-body George Smith.
For those watching, wondering why Carl Torbush is still up in the coach's box, well, he's still the defensive coordinator of the North Carolina football team. He wants to keep that the same. After this game, he assumes full responsibilities on and off the field as a head coach.
The crowd is ready, and we are ready. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Bob Trumpy. Tell me first about Carolina.
Well, we've talked a lot about defense, but for North Carolina, a big factor today is their starting quarterback. Chris Keldorf has started 17 games for North Carolina, and in those 17 games, thrown 35 touchdown passes. He's not as mobile as last year's Gator Bowl MVP Oscar Davenport, but one of the great throwers of the football in college football today, Charlie.
Now, Virginia Tech, they are the underdog. Can they pull off the upset?
Well, Frank Beamer has a formula. It's going to be very difficult for Virginia Tech's offense to function against this North Carolina defense, but what he thinks is that his defense can come up with turnovers, and if they can, then they could get good field position. The other weakness in North Carolina, Beamer believes, is the kicking game. You can see that Virginia Tech has blocked 7 kicks. North Carolina has had 7 kicks blocked. So that's Frank Beamer's formula. Get turnovers, take advantage of North Carolina's kicking game.
And now to add to this Gator Bowl story, let's go down to the sideline. Here's John Dockery.
Thank you, Charlie. And, of course, defense does dominate for North Carolina, and why not? Look at their personnel. 3 first-team consensus All-Americans, including 1 cornerback, Dre Bly, who has gotten that honor for the 2nd year in a row. And when you look at Bly, he has incredible statistics, 16 interceptions in the last 2 regular seasons, plus 2 more in last year's Gator Bowl victory over West Virginia. Now, Bly isn't the biggest cornerback you've ever seen. He's only 5'10", 190, and he does not have Darrell Green warp speed. But what he does have is the confidence and daring of a riverboat gambler and incredible hands. The soft hands of a second baseman to make that interception when others won't. Also, strong hands made more powerful by the use of the speed bag. Hands to dominate, control, intimidate, manipulate the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage in the Tar Heels bump and run coverage, something they do 90% of the time. So something special on display here at the Gator Bowl. Number 31 in blue. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, John. We're glad that you are with us. It makes it a special game when John Dockery is on the sideline. The weather, I said it was nice. Now, the temperature is 46. It's warmer than that, though. It really is. The humidity is 58. The wind, there's a little bit of it, and the forecast is for sunny. Really a nice afternoon.
Absolutely, yeah. The people who live here in Florida hate it. But for those of us who are not from Florida, come down here, we are very comfortable in this temperature.
Frank Beamer, his 11th season at Virginia Tech. And in the press box, Carl Torbush, very comfortable in this role as head coach. Continues to be, as Bob pointed out, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. And Charlie, don't misunderstand what I said in the opening about he takes over as the head coach following this game. He will make the decisions on whether or not they go for it on 4th down. But there's been so much change for North Carolina when Mack Brown left that he thought staying in the coach's box would help the players a great deal more than being down on the field.
North Carolina won the toss. They will defer to the second half, and that means that Brian Schmitz is going to kick off, and the deep back on the return is Ike Charlton, the redshirt freshman from Orlando, and we are underway. And it is taken at the 2-yard line on the return out to the 15, 20. Oh, and hit high right on the shoulder pads of the 22-yard line. After return of 21 yards, Brandon Spoon is the man who decked him. And Virginia Tech known for going with a no-huddle offense, but it's not a hurry-up offense.
No, it's not. And you see Al Clark, he is the quarterback. He is the absolute trigger man. Yeah, they stay at the line of scrimmage. They'll eat up some time, but they want to lock in defensive personnel. And Al Clark is coming off a cartilage surgery on the 1st of December. And then he got the flu when he got down here in Jacksonville. So Frank Beamer is not really sure how healthy he is, and he starts from the shotgun. This is a...
Are you surprised?
Yes, I am surprised.
Why?
Although it's a good idea, I think, because somehow Virginia Tech has to loosen up this North Carolina defense. Give them a different look.
Come out throwing, a little pump fake to the right, comes back to the left-hand side. This Marcus Parker. Parker down the sideline, and then he goes out of bounds, shy of the 35-yard line. And with a no-huddle, let's quickly get to the Tech offensive line.
Big, strong, physical offensive line for Virginia Tech. Don't shortchange these gentlemen. They know how to hit big guys.
Backs and receivers.
Sean Scales is the key man there, 22. Missed almost the entire season because of foot surgery. And again, it's all on Al Clark's shoulders, the quarterback. Calls the plays. He's standing right out there, just looking for the play from the sideline, trying to be as relaxed as possible.
It went for a gain of 9, so it is 2nd down and 1. And we understand that there is a clock problem, so we have a bit of a delay. And we mentioned that this is not a hurry up, and actually they just kind of wander around and get set.
That's true. There is no reason. Frank Beamer doesn't believe there's any reason to go in the huddle. They've been doing this for 3 years. As a matter of fact, they tried to make the change a little bit, put some huddle in. Players didn't like it, so they went right back to this down. Now up underneath the center.
After he makes his call. Ken Oxendine runs into that defense of Carolina. We mentioned that overall it is 2nd in the nation. It is really tough. Here's their front 4.
There's the defensive line. Greg Ellis, he is the veteran up there and an All-American. This front 7, the 4 defensive linemen and linebackers, I think in combination, the best there is in college football. And then they have an All-American defensive back in Dre Bly. They are deep and they are good.
A run defense that's allowed an average of only 78 yards a game. And running right into the heart of the defense, needing a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And we'll see where the mark is. Could be enough for the 1st down. This time it was Omar Brown who stopped Ken Oxendine. Give you a perfect example of just how tough this defense is against the run. And it is a 1st down.
But they make it by inches. Charlie, the more you watch this North Carolina defense on tape and look at the way it functions, this is one of the most confident groups I think I've ever seen in my life. They don't care what you put up there against them. They are going to just beat you right in the forehead all day long.
Ball game just underway. No score from the shotgun. An inside handoff to Oxendine. And again, the run defense does not yield much yardage. This time a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And that's exactly what we've been talking about.
209 yards a game, 77 rushing, just 13 points per game. And the best thing about this defense, Charlie, is that no matter what you design offensively against it, it has both the size and the speed to catch up with you. You try to run the perimeter, they have great speed at linebacker. You try to pound at them, they have huge size on their interior defensive line.
2nd and long, they show the I formation. And the give is to the first back through. Ball is loose. It's on the ground. North Carolina is into the end zone. Keith Newman picked up the ball.
There is one official at the line of scrimmage saying that the ball was on the ground. But I frankly think he's guessing. Frank Beamer is pointing out. One official is saying the ball was on the ground. But I've seen no signal from anyone. They're bringing it back, though.
Marcus Parker, the fullback, was the ball carrier for the Hokies.
I could not really see whether the ball was on the ground, but when in doubt, they're going to just leave it in the hands of Virginia Tech as this Southeast Conference crew, headed by Mac Gentry. It's not a turnover.
And Gentry, by the way, played in the 1966 Gator Bowl. From the shotgun. Pass is complete, but that is it. Angelo Harrison is nailed. Whoa.
They're going to count that as a catch
at the 39-yard line.
But it certainly looked like the ball bounced loose. Omar Brown makes the hit, but you see the double setup they have of the receivers. Now watch the hit. Second foot down.
Ball was out.
Well,
here's the kick.
Dave Brown back to the wheel.
One of the return men turned and wanted to one of the officials. Officials are off to a little bit of a rocky start.
Yeah, not a good start.
Not a good start. 42 yards on that kick. Hopefully our telecast will be better than the officiating. Back in a moment.
The Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota every day. By Bell South. Nobody knows a neighbor like a neighbor. By Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. And by First Plus Financial. At First Plus, we're working first for you.
Not quite 3 minutes into the opening quarter. Virginia Tech and North Carolina here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. And the Carolina Tar Heels will be moving on offense for the first time in the ball game, and they will start from inside their own 20-yard line. Mark it officially on the 19-yard line. They are led by the quarterback, Chris Keldorf. Keldorf again to the tailback, Jonathan Linton, and he is a major question mark. But first, let's take a look at the Carolina lineup. Here's that offensive line.
A good, not great offensive line led by Jeff Saturday, like his nickname, Weekend.
And backs and receivers.
And Linton is the big question mark. Injured his knee against Duke, re-injured it in practice. Excellent receivers. And, of course, Chris Keldorf, the quarterback.
Second down and 7 following the gain of 3. A little bit of a play action. Keldorf stands in the pocket. Pass is complete. Slipping out of a tackle down the far side is Algie Crumpler, the tight end. And Carolina told us a gain of 31 yards that he would be one of the keys to their offense.
Yeah, in the state of North Carolina, the Crumpler name is absolutely famous. Of course, Carl Lester Jr. plays for the Seahawks. Algie, a young man that North Carolina has great confidence in, believe that he is going to be a super player, replacing Freddie Jones, who was a high draft choice in the NFL. And he's kind of splitting out a little bit in the slot.
47-yard line of Virginia Tech. Just a straight shot right up the middle for Jonathan Linton. Steve Tate, walk-on leading tackler for the Hokies, made the stop. Let's look at Virginia Tech's front four.
Not a particularly big front four for Virginia Tech. Pretty active, not very tall. And the back seven, the Virginia Tech defense is almost a nickel defense. They have a rover back, number 20, and he moves all over the place. He's at the line of scrimmage. He's back in coverage. Hard to identify. Look at him cheat to the line of scrimmage here. 9 guys up, Charlie.
Second down and 5. Complete underneath the covers to Jonathan Linton. And now let's address ourselves to the right knee of Linton. A big question mark. 26 yards on the play.
Well, Linton last year was a fullback for North Carolina. But one of the great things he does is come out of the backfield. Keldorf likes the underneath stuff. And he re-injured his knee in practice and has had 2.5 days of intensive rehab and also treatment. The doctors for North Carolina say it's almost miraculous. He does go to the sideline limping slightly, but he is a huge key to North Carolina's offense. That extra receiver out of the backfield.
Back to the ground game. Let's go down to John Dockery.
You know, Charlie, I talked to Jonathan Linton before the game, and I was shocked after he hurt his knee Monday in practice. He came out without any tape, without any knee brace, and said he was absolutely fine, that he had no problem with it. But as you can see, he just came out of the game. He's on the bench, and we'll try to get a look and a report as soon as possible. But he wasn't wearing anything on that knee.
Yeah, John, he's limping badly on the sideline. It's his right knee, and he took a hit right on it at the sideline.
Keldorf has completed 2 of 2 for 57 yards in this opening drive for Carolina. The hole was there, but it was closed down by Kerwin Hairston. Mike G to the ball carrier.
Linton is out. Gator is in, the backup. He's a little faster than Linton. As you can see, inside the 20, North Carolina's been good, not great. There's Gator.
3rd down and 6. You look for Keldorf to throw. Incomplete. Algie Crumpler, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Well, Charlie, Linton goes out limping badly on that knee, and all of a sudden the drive stalls. They tried to run they had a double tight end formation. They tried to hit the tight end on the delay. Crumpler, Virginia Tech played it beautifully. So to allow this many yards and just a field goal attempt by North Carolina, a plus for Virginia Tech.
Tony Coles is the snapper. Derek DePriest the holder. Josh McGee is the kicker. He is hit from 46 yards away. This is from 29 yards out, and it is good. From 29 yards away, Carolina on the board. They lead 3-0. Back with the kickoff in a moment.
Well, already a big injury here for North Carolina at the end of a 26-yard reception. Linton gets hit by Keon Carpenter of Virginia Tech right on that knee, that right knee. Now again from the end zone, watch the right knee. That's the one that's already been stretched. And you can see he leaves the field, goes to the sideline. Gator was his replacement. He's standing, he's up. I don't see any ice on his knee. But we'll get a report from John Dockery right after this kickoff.
Josh McGee, 29-yard field goal. Carolina is up 3-0 as Schmitz will kick off to Ike Charlton. Pulls it in at the 3-yard line. Out to the 10, 15. Hidden down around the 24, maybe the 25-yard line. 23 yards on the return. Brandon Spoon with a hit. Here's John Dockery.
Thanks, Charlie. And Trump, that right knee, Jonathan Linton, a senior in his last game, will not be denied. He bruised the knee. He's been jogging on the sidelines. He will return for North Carolina.
Wow. Doc, this is amazing. You know, to recover from a sprain 3 days ago, and he's got nothing but treatment. He wants to be in there. Sometimes players are terrible patients, and really on game day, they're awful patients, Charlie, and this may be one of those situations.
Marcus Parker, the remaining back, he's the ball carrier. He's going to lose half a yard on the play. Brian Simmons was there to wrap him up. And the defense of the Carolina Tar Heels living up to all of the notices.
Charlie, if you watch the line of scrimmage, there's just no place for anybody to run against this North Carolina defense. All of these guys take the right angle. They are on the shoulder. Carl Torbush, now the head coach, he is the architect of this defense. And this is one of the best in college football.
Oxendine back in the lineup for Virginia Tech. He's the ball carrier, and he'll lose a yard.
That's Bonnie Holiday on the tackle.
Holiday, a senior from Camden, South Carolina, a top NFL prospect.
Yeah, Charlie, one of the secrets of playing great defense is getting off the blocks. You see Holiday right on the nose, and watch him. He takes the hit. He's double teamed. He gets through the double team, and he is right there to make the tackle. This defensive line gets off blocks better than any defensive line I have seen.
Virginia Tech has rushed 6 times in the ball game for a total of 1 yard. Al Clark, under a tremendous amount of pressure, didn't even have time to look downfield. scrambled out near the 30-yard line. The defense of Carolina dominating the ball game thus far. This time it was Mike Bringley. Jimmy Kibble will kick.
And Charlie, you saw Frank Beamer on the sideline. His formula for success to this point not working.
Kibble kicking into a strong wind. Nay Brown is the return man. Carolina should have excellent field position. Almost blocked. Whoa! And the wind will catch it at the 35-yard line. It'll be down around the 36 or the 37-yard line. 35 yards on the kick. Ryan Smith made the down. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Toyota Gator Bowl. 6:56 time remaining. We're in the first quarter. North Carolina is up by a score of 3-0. Josh McGee's 29-yard field goal. And Carolina has the ball at their own 36-yard line. Jonathan Linton is back in the lineup. He's number 27. And Linton is the ball carrier. He pushes forward for 2, maybe 3 on the play. Jamel Smith with the tackle for Virginia Tech.
It gained 1,000 yards this season for North Carolina, and last year he was a fullback weighing 245 pounds. Has lost 15 pounds, and last year in preparation for this, the Gator Bowl, he started to make the transition to the tailback for North Carolina and has made it beautifully.
2nd down and 8. Play action fake to Linton down the sideline behind the secondary. It is there. Barnes has it into the end zone. 62 yards. Octavius Barnes, the senior from Wilson, North Carolina. Only his 22nd catch of the year, and it's his 6th touchdown.
Charlie, that was a sensational throw by Keldorf. The right arc on the ball allowed Barnes to run underneath it. Well, Frank Beamer had hoped that his defense would not give up big plays. They've already given up 3, 2 in the first drive, and then this one for the score.
Josh McGee to attempt a point after. It is good. And Carolina moves up now by a score of 10-0.
Good play action fake by North Carolina. And with Virginia Tech's defense, you see the safety back there on the left. He kind of hesitates. That's all it takes for Barnes to get by. And again, Lauren Johnson is the cornerback in coverage. Barnes doesn't run much of a pattern. He gets inside the bump and run and then just accelerates away. 20 Prelo is supposed to be there to help on the inside, but he was more committed to stopping the run. Good play action fake. Open Barnes up for the easy score.
And the reaction of Chris Keldorf, the senior quarterback from Manhattan Beach, California, who started as a tight end in college, actually.
Yeah, left high school, went to Utah State. First week they moved him to tight end. Next week he left. They went to 2 junior colleges.
El Camino and then Palomar JC in San Diego.
And Charlie, he is a big kid.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, and last year it's 6'5.5", maybe 6'6", 250. Now 6'6", 225.
Ike Charlton is the return man, but hold the phone.
Ball blew off.
We will start again. It is a brisk wind today.
Brisk?
Brisk.
I think it's very comfortable. You'd have to hit it low into the wind.
and put a little draw on it. Right,
yeah. Always.
21 career receptions of more than 30 yards. All right. Brian Schmidt. A bit of a bad ankle and also a heavy heart. His grandmother passed away this week. He had to leave practice and fly to Chicago to be with the family. He kicks it away. Charlton on the return. $16 yards on the return. Follow the Gator Bowl online at msnbcsports.com and see if you can call the right play during the game with the interactive playbook. Plus, fill in your own top 25 poll and check out all the news from all of the bowl games. It's all at msnbcsports.com. And you and John Dockery were talking about John's new computer that he got for Christmas, and he is going online for the first time.
Yeah, it does begin to dominate your life, unfortunately. It's like, I guess, back in the 50s when we all got televisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what's happening to the computer now. Everybody, all they do is talk about the computer. This offense needs something and something now from Al Clark.
Pegues and Hawkins are the two running backs from the shotgun. A play-action fake. Pass is complete, right side out of bounds. A gain of about 7 or 8 yards to Angelo Harrison. Robert Williams chases him out of bounds. Let's go down to John Dockery.
And, Charlie, it is dangerous to think that I might actually become computer literate. You know, you mentioned the wind. What's even more astounding as you look at the hurry-up offense here was Keldorf's pass with the wind, perfectly thrown. He calculated that factor in. Virginia Tech, a real problem, Trump. They are going against the wind. They're getting behind. Had they been able to keep it close and get the wind, it would have helped them.
Al Clark from the shotgun. He is 3 of 3. A high snap. Hands it off underneath. He gives it to Lamont Pegues. And the junior is stopped in his tracks. You cannot run against Carolina.
Pegues' first 2 years played at Clemson. Now watch this defensive line. Fights through the double team. Linebacker Newman right there, number 9. These are powerful people on this defense, Charlie. And the more you watch them on tape, the more you wonder how they lost to Florida State.
3rd down and 4. Blitz up the middle. Hit just as he makes the release. It's floating just out of the reach. Sean Scales, the intended receiver. Reggie Love was the defender.
There's the blitz. Newman just overpowers the running back. Bam! Just bull rushes him right back to the quarterback, Clark. An excellent job of getting the ball down the field and just overthrows Sean Scales. That's the kind of big play that Virginia Tech needs.
So Jimmy Kibble kicking against the wind. This is a pretty good one if it'll turn over for him. And taken over the shoulder run by Nay Brown. And out of bounds. So an excellent kick by Jimmy Kibble, who has been averaging just over 45 yards. This one into the wind, a 53-yarder. .454, that's the time remaining in the first quarter. And Carolina is up by a score of 10-0 over Virginia Tech. This will be their 3rd offensive possession. And the first 2, a field goal and a touchdown.
Not a bad start. Not a bad start at all for North Carolina.
Linton again is the tailback. Quick out to the right flat. Complete to the tight end, Algie Crumpler. Bob, you said again early on he was split away, and he almost got away for a huge gain. Pearson Prelo with the tackle.
Speaking of big plays, there might be a guy on the North Carolina sideline that's most important, and that is Philip Dees. He is the guy who is signaling the plays in from the sideline. Now, that used to be Cleve Bryant's job, the receiver coach, but he's already gone to Texas. So young Mr. Dees may not get his uniform dirty, but have the best and biggest job today in his Gator Bowl.
Linton gets the call again. He will cross the 25 out to about the 26-yard line.
Now, I understand how this is done. Dees is down on the sideline. Offensive coordinator Greg Davis, who is also going to Texas, is upstairs. And there you see Dees. He's signaling in. I want a pizza. There's Greg Davis right there, the offensive coordinator. He is from Texas, is going back to Texas with Mac Brown. But Carl Torbush said, do me a favor. Stay here and coach the Gator Bowl. And Greg said, sure, you bet, buddy.
Great fake. Gets away from the pressure. Downfield, on target. Outstanding play by Chris Keldorf.
Yeah, and you know what?
A little bit of everything. 30 yards total. Nay Brown on the receiving end.
The thing about Chris Keldorf is that when you look at his negatives, he doesn't move around much. But he does a great job of avoiding the pressure. That's a good, hard play-action fake. Steps inside the rusher, stands in there, and makes the completion. And that's an excellent throw. You don't expect Keldorf to move around. He's a target.
That, by the way, his 4th pass of 25 or more yards in the ballgame. 44-yard line of Virginia Tech. Linton to the outside. has a little bit of the corner. And then takes out maybe an assistant coach or a trainer on the far side. If he goes out, Keon Carpenter goes with him. It's dangerous on that sideline.
Yes, it is.
You've got to stay alert.
Yeah, Charlie, actually, that was a great job by Virginia Tech, stringing that play all the way out. Linton had no place to turn up. But the big plays have hurt Virginia Tech. It was Beamer's hope. In fact, when I talked to him, he said, you know, the last 2 games we played, losses to Pitt and West Virginia, we gave up too many big plays. That's not Virginia Tech football. We can't give up big plays today. That's all they've done is give up big plays.
2nd down and 6. Keldorf signal right, came out looking right, and he's just throwing it away.
Yeah, well, what's happened, Charlie, is that Virginia Tech's defense, which is known as 8 men up and man-to-man coverage, press over to the place, drop back in a zone. And Keldorf is trying to hit either the tight end on the drag or the wide receiver on the slant, and they drop back. You're looking at Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, and so many big plays to this point, he's already changed his attitude. They're dropping back in coverage. They don't want to press them up front and go man-to-man.
3rd down and 6.
Blitz.
From the shotgun, incomplete. Good defensive play. Lorenzo Ferguson hitting Jason Peace just as the ball got there. He timed it perfectly.
Here he comes with the blitz. You're going to see it from behind the offense. It's well picked up, but a perfectly timed hit by Ferguson to knock the ball away. And going to make North Carolina punt the ball away for the first time today.
Ryan Schmitz will be kicking to Larry Green. Did not take the bounce that Carolina wanted. 40 yards and into the end zone for the touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 2:49, that is the time remaining in the first quarter, dominated thus far by Carolina, as they are on top by a score of 10-0.
And they are on the sideline. There's Sean Scales. Missed the last 6 games of the season with foot surgery.
5 points.
Had a month of real good hard work, but got all kinds of problems with that foot. Seems to be fine now, and he was Virginia Tech's big play guy. Well, Al Clark has got to somehow get it to him. Forego the run, start chucking it down the field.
You asked him yesterday if he was sore. He said, I'm beyond sore.
Yeah, when you have 2 months of inactivity, things get a little soft, and then in a month's time you try to make up for missing 6 games, get in game hitting shape. This is a young man you root for. He has had a life that his high school football coach saved his life, gave him an opportunity to succeed.
Moved in with the family.
Moved in with several families.
Yeah.
The first was his high school head coach who was down here, Coach Fry. So Sean Scales is someone you root for.
And he's a special young man. Here's a little swing to the right side. Not going to do anything. Ken Oxendine on the receiving end. Dre Bly moved up defensive cornerback and was right on it.
Yeah, there are times when you watch North Carolina where it looks like they have 15 guys. You know, I mean, this is a double screen. It's set up both sides. Dre Bly right there to make the tackle. And it's hard to run a screen against a bump and run man-to-man defense. But look, Virginia Tech's got to try some strange things here to get the ball down the field.
3rd down and 12. Virginia Tech thus far has only 1 first down in the ball game. From the shotgun, whistles are sounding. Thus far, the story of the game, the Carolina defense and the Tar Heels' big play offense.
That's exactly right. One is expected, one was not.
Dead ball, disconcerting signals on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, there's a plus.
And that, of course, means that the defensive signals were very similar to what the offensive quarterback would be calling and might, and cause the offense to jump. That's what he was talking about. 3rd down and 7. From the shotgun. Blitz Blitz is coming. Picked up. Pass a little late. It is incomplete. Oxendine, the intended receiver. Terry Phillips had the cover.
Now, one of the things you don't want to do against North Carolina is after there is good pressure right here, you don't want to throw it late. Clark does. Phillips almost makes the interception, but Charlie, still the first quarter, we've seen Al Clark get up off the ground an awful lot. Yeah, boy.
Jimmy Kibble kicking to Nay Brown. Block, touchdown, Carolina.
Dre Bly.
8 yards and the touchdown.
That's the first time Kibble has been blocked. Had a punt blocked in his career. And Frank Beamer thought that that's where North Carolina was weak, was going to take advantage of it, and Carolina does it to them.
Quentin Savage gets the block.
That is the 5th time a ball has been blocked against Virginia Tech, but the first against the punter.
A long distance extra point now following the penalty with the 25-yard line, an attempt of 35 yards for the extra point. It is bending right. It is no good.
Well, this is unexpected, but you're going to see him coming from, actually, I think it comes from over here. He gets right through there. It doesn't look like he's touched at all. Well, it was from the right. I got the camera turned upside down, but it bounces right in the hands of the 2-time consensus All-American Dre Bly, and a defensive score by North Carolina.
Quentin Savage with the block. Dre Bly with the touchdown. Carolina leads now 16-0. And we still have 1 minute and 3 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Carolina has 16 points. Virginia Tech has 1 first down.
For Carolina, this is their 3rd block punt for a touchdown this year. And Savage blocked a punt for a touchdown against Stanford. Tar Heels have the full package, don't they?
Yes, they do, and they have a lot of their starters on that punt coverage team.
Charlton bobbles it, picks it up at the 4-yard line, and then slips it down around the 13, maybe the 14-yard line. North Carolina has been a slow starter this whole season. That doesn't apply in the year 1998.
Yeah, all season they've gotten 16 points in the first quarter. Today, there's 53 seconds left. They have 16 points in the first quarter, but look at the way they accelerate. 86 in the second, 95 in the third, and 109 in the fourth. And you got those points with a defense like North Carolina has. Again, how did Florida State beat these guys?
And you mention that again because those that don't follow college football, except maybe on January 1st, that's the only loss they had all season long. The record is 10-1. Ken Oxendine, who will be going to the Hula Bowl, is stopped by Kay Mays.
First 4 possession, 3 punts, 1 blocked, 29 total yards, 1 first down. I mean, you know, Frank Beamer knew that he was going to have problems with North Carolina, but he didn't want to create any more situations for North Carolina for any kind of momentum. And a blocked punt for a touchdown is definitely momentum.
Ken Oxendine, who rushed for 904 yards on the season, that's a 98-yard average, has been held at just 2 yards thus far in the ball game. Takes and then is swarmed under at the 6-yard line.
And they had a receiver going across the middle open. Greg Ellis there along with several others. But just as Al Clark gets the ball up and ready to throw it, everything caves in on him.
Ellis and K. May. We take the countdown. That is the end of the first quarter. Carolina leads it 16-0. This is Charlie Jones along with Bob Trumpy and John Dockery as we start the year 1998 at the Gator Bowl, and it's been a great start for Carolina.
And not for Frank Beamer. -1 yards rushing, 16 total, 1 first down. This is a powerful rushing team under most circumstances against most defenses. You can see that Virginia Tech came in averaging 215 yards per game. -1 to this point.
3rd down and 16.
Fumble.
There's a sack, a fumble. It is recovered in the end zone for a touchdown for Carolina. And the Tar Heels just keep adding up the scoring machine. Greg Ellis recovers the fumble with the touchdown. We talked to him yesterday. He said he loves the swim move. Well, right now, the Carolina is swimming all over Virginia Tech. Brian Simmons was right in the middle of it that knocked it away.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is, they're sinking. Yeah.
You're right.
You know, I saw Carl Torbush there. Picture he was up in the coach's box. He may never come out of there. There he is right there. You know, this team.
It's working.
Yeah, this team functions pretty good when I'm up here. My goodness. An overwhelming defense shown here by North Carolina on Al Clark. He had no chance whatsoever. Charlie, again, pressure comes from a lot of different places. Here's Ellis over here, but you're going to see everybody right there on Al Clark. You come right up. Man, it came right through there. It was Simmons, who knocked the ball away, and Ellis with the recovery. Here's Ellis. He's standing up on the outside and occupying the offensive tackle. Almost looked like a zone blitz, but Brian Simmons on the blitz, and Ellis makes the recovery for the score. 2 defensive touchdowns now for North Carolina, and Beamer's thinking, oh, man, I'm going to the wing T next year.
And remember, Carolina missed 1 extra point.
And it looks like
they may be flirting with the idea of going for 2 here.
Yeah, it does look like they've sent their offense on you. There's Keldorf. You already have a Virginia Tech team totally demoralized, Charlie. Totally.
It is incomplete.
Well, there's a plus for Virginia Tech. Frank Beamer needs something to build on here.
And so the score remains Carolina 22 and Virginia Tech nothing, with 14:53 left to go in the first half. Saturday, the NFL and NBC continues its road to Super Bowl 32. With the AFC divisional playoffs, coverage begins at 12 noon Eastern time with the pregame show. Then it's a rematch of an overtime thriller just 3 weeks ago. Cordell Stewart, the former Slash, and the Steelers take on Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. That's going to be a great one. Sunday's coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern time with the pregame show. And then the action moves to Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs take on the Broncos in another intriguing rematch. Their last meeting was called the Game of the Year. And this is a new year, so it may equal it. That's the AFC divisional playoffs this weekend on NBC.
Man,
those are great ball games.
That's 2 great ball games.
Yes.
Against teams who have a history. Certainly Kansas City and Denver do. Pittsburgh and New England certainly do. Frank Beamer's not worried about the NFL. He's worried about the next play.
Yes. Here is Sean Scales on the return. And Scales spins his way out to about the 23 or maybe the 24-yard line.
Scales to the 24-yard line.
Brandon Spoon with a tackle for Carolina.
Scales a little slow getting up, but
Cedric Hodge also there.
You can see the mistakes by Virginia Tech that have resulted in 14 of the 22 points scored by North Carolina. The block punt and the sack and fumble recovery in the end zone.
Offense 10 points, defense 6, special teams 6.
That's all. That's the only way you can score. You got three. You got 3 ways. That's it.
That's it. The ball at the 24-yard line. Al Clark scrambles out for a few yards. Eckenbon making the tackle.
And again, another display of great speed for a big guy. Eckenbon is 275. Al Clark tries to scramble a little bit, comes back in to make the tackle. And the at the line of scrimmage offense continues. Hand signals to the receiver.
Second down and 9. Clark from the shotgun. Pass is complete over the middle to the 30-yard line. Angelo Harrison pulls it in, and Robert Williams was right there. But it'll go for a gain of 6 on the play.
Charlie, I do think Virginia Tech just has to feel like, let's start over. Good protection this time for Al Clark. Nice little in-route run by Harrison. A good throw. Williams is not there on time, but a good pickup for Virginia Tech. Just build slowly here. Move the chains. Get a first down. Start with that.
Virginia Tech 1 out of 6 conversions on 3rd down. Here's pressure. He slips away. Dives out for the first down across the 35 out to the 38-yard line. Omar Brown finally stopped him. And a first down for Virginia Tech.
Before Al Clark hurt his knee, Charlie, he was the big factor on this offense because he does have the ability, when completely healthy and in game condition, to run the ball on the scramble. And that's one of the things that Virginia Tech had hoped for. It looks to me like he's going to have to scramble a lot for the rest of this game.
That is only the 2nd first down in the ball game for Virginia Tech.
Man.
The handoff is going to yield a yard for Marcus Parker. Kay Mays was there.
Marcus Parker on the carry.
Caballo Suma, Swahili's first name, meaning child of mine. But everybody calls him Kay.
Yeah, I
thought I'd take one crack at it, and that's it.
I'm not sure that it doesn't translate big stud. I am serious.
Don't come in my turf.
No, yeah, stay out of here.
That's right.
Yeah, don't bother me. Don't block me. Don't try to block me. Leave me alone. Yes, sir, Mr. Mays.
2nd down and 8. Motion to the far left side, giving trips on that side. 3 receivers, goes back to complete the pass to the near side to Marcus Parker. There's a flag down. Kay Mays with the tackle.
It's nice to see Parker coming out. I think we got a face mask here, Charlie, on Kay Mays.
Personal foul, face mask, against the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Now you've got Kay Mays. He's a middle linebacker, and he just sticks his hand up there and grabs the face mask, and he doesn't let go, and therefore it's a major penalty. Charlie, Parker he's going to play at the next level. He is an excellent receiver for Virginia Tech. A big blocker, can carry the ball. He's one of those fullbacks that I think that the NFL scouts just love to take a good, long, hard look at.
First down at the Carolina 35-yard line.
Blitz.
Clark scrambles to the right.
He's open.
Wide open. Pass is complete at the 10-yard line and into the end zone. A flag is down back at the 41-yard line. 35 yards on the play. Marcus Parker, if it stands, it'll be against Virginia Tech. What a costly mistake.
Well, they got the player open. A good job of scrambling, but the hold.
It goes back to the 50-yard line.
Parker has gone out now. His replacement is Cullen Hawkins, who comes in at fullback.
Lamont Pegues is the tailback.
And maybe the fullback as a receiver is the secret here for Virginia Tech.
Inside handoff to Pegues. Pegues only has 2 receptions on the year. Hawkins, his running mate right now, has 4. While Marcus Parker is the leading receiver for Virginia Tech with 20 during the regular season.
Pegues is the fastest of the running backs that Virginia Tech has. So what they're trying to do here, I believe, is one, give those 2 starters a little bit of a rest. 2, break a little speed here against North Carolina. See if Pegues can get up through there.
Gain of 5, 2nd down and 20. Clark's pass is incomplete downfield to Angelo Harris, and he was picked up by Greg Williams.
It's been a struggle for Virginia Tech, you know. Nothing has worked. It's a great rushing offense. And generally, from behind the offense, watch the way the defense deploys. Good coverage all over the place. Pressure late. Clark couldn't really concentrate on the receiver, Harrison, to make the completion. And it goes right into the ground.
3rd down and 20. Carolina leading by a score of 22-0. We're in the 2nd quarter. Clark going deep. It is incomplete. Michael Stewie, the intended receiver. Clark is slow getting up. Omar Brown and Reggie Love had the coverage in the secondary.
That's Steve Fisher, number 34, hands on. I guess if you're going to play cornerback for North Carolina, you're going to be good at bump and run, or you're not going to play. With Dre Bly. Now Clark gets hit. The number 78 for Carolina, Marcus Dow, who's been out the entire season playing in this bowl game. He had a fractured kidney that has been cleared to play. He put pressure on Clark.
Gibble kicking. Nay Brown is the deep back. It'll be down at the spot where it hit one of the Virginia Tech players on the bounce. 35 yards on the kick. When we come back, Carolina will have the ball, and they have the lead 22-0.
The Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By First Plus Financial. At First Plus, we're working first for you. And by new Edge Pro Gel. Lose the foam, save your skin.
10 minutes and 40 seconds. That is the time remaining in the 2nd quarter at the Toyota Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville, Florida. The temperature a bit on the cool side, but the sun is shining, the wind is blowing, and if you're in the shade, it's cold. If you're in the sun, it's warm.
Well, Virginia Tech is in the shade. You understand what I'm saying?
You're right.
To this point, trailing 22-0, Virginia Tech is in the shade. I don't care what's showing on Beamer's face. They're in the shade.
Chris Keldorf, Carolina's quarterback, has completed 5 of 8 for 162 yards and a touchdown, and all 5 of his completions thus far have been for first downs. There's Jonathan Linton. Linton, we've talked about the knee injury that he is playing with. Well, Chris Keldorf, the quarterback last year, Ike Charlton with that last tackle, last year had an injury and missed the ball game here, and he was the quarterback was Oscar Davenport. This year, Davenport is the injury, and and Keldorf is having an outstanding game.
Yeah, I mean, both suffered broken ankles too. Well, I don't know what's going on here.
2nd down and 1 at the 20. Here is Linton again, and he'll pick up the first down at the 24-yard line as we go down to John Dockery.
Thank you, Charlie. And I'm with Oscar Davenport. Oscar, last year was Keldorf standing here, broken ankle. This year it's you standing here, broken ankle. It's kind of an ironic twist. Yeah. No pun intended.
It's a nice situation, but you know, now it's Chris' opportunity, and I think he's going to do just as well as I did last year and come out, you know what I'm saying, with the Gator Bowl MVP because he's playing well today.
He certainly is. Now, you hurt the ankle. Let's let this play run, and then I want to talk a little about the injury.
Turn, little play action fake. Pass is complete on the near side to Octavius Barnes, who has scored a touchdown in the ball game. And back to John Dockery.
Thank you, Charlie. And the injury was against Florida State. What happened?
Well, I mean, Florida State, they were putting on a lot of pressure on the whole game, and just so happened we tried to run a naked and tried to get outside, but Florida State had a lot of speed and just a strange accident, and I ended up, breaking my fibula. But I've been going through rehab, and I'll be back next year.
Now you have a year of eligibility, so you will be the man next year. Obviously, Chris graduates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's all going to come in time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Now today, last year when I spoke to Chris at this time, he talked about helping you before the game. It was your first start, during the game, and so on. Have you been able to help him today?
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much just been there, through preparation. Chris had a great week of bowl practice, and I knew he would do well today, and what he's showing, he can do the job. So, I mean, it's going to be a great game, and the guys, I think they're trying to show everybody that we deserve more respect.
We're going to watch this play, and it's a running play up the middle to Linton. Boy, he's come back from that knee. Amazing. I want to ask you, obviously a big change. Mack Brown leaves, and Carl Torbush takes over. What has that been like for you personally and for the team?
It was a scary feeling at first because we didn't know who would come in and be the head coach, but since Coach Torbush and he's within the family, it makes everybody feel a lot more comfortable, and that's why I feel like there haven't been any let-offs since Mack Brown's left. I think the guys, they kind of like took care of Coach Torbush and let him know, you're the new head coach, and we're going to do our best to get you wins.
I understand a lot of guys lobbied for him to be the head coach. Here's a pass play by Keldorf. Charlie, yours?
Keldorf goes deep. Pass is no. Incomplete. He was going to Octavius Brown. It's incomplete. Okay, Doc.
And Oscar, one other thing. I know an injury is never that good. Is there anything, a silver lining in this? I understand that you and Chris got even closer after your injury. Could you share that with us?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, he helped me through the whole process because, he's been through it and stuff. He didn't even let me stay at his place, I like to just, first of all, just say thanks to him, because he helped me out a lot. And the guys on the team, we all a family, so they don't push me through the process. And everything's going to show up in the long run.
Well, good luck. Get well. Get that ankle okay. Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you.
Charlie?
John, I want to ask you a question after this play of how do you figure into all of this? Just a moment.
Yes.
All right, don't go away. Second down. Keldorf, little swing into the right flat. Great. Oh, Linton just a step away. Now, the reason I say this time last year, you were interviewing Chris Keldorf. So you alternate with the ankle injuries, and when we saw Keldorf yesterday, the first thing he said, "Hi, John. We interviewed last year."
He was a little happier this year to be on the field and not on the sidelines with that ankle. You think that somehow I'm kind of have a problem with players that you interview and something happens to them?
Good job, John. Linton on this drive has 5 carries for 30 yards, and he's picked up a couple of first downs. Keldorf is going to be sacked. A spark for Virginia Tech. Chris Cyrus gets the sack.
From the backside, first time there's been any real pressure on Chris Keldorf at all. You saw Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, and look, the only way that Virginia Tech can get back in this game, Charlie, is to create some turnovers. North Carolina's got to put the ball on the ground.
Brian Schmitz kicking to Larry Green. Whoa. Gets it away and gets the roll, and it goes out of bounds.
Wow. Boy, that was a very poor snap. The punter did a great job of catching it on the bounce.
And it goes for 40 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh. It is a Carolina afternoon. We'll be back in a moment. This is St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest city in the United States, and the players from Carolina and Virginia Tech had a chance to visit some history while they were here at the Gator Bowl. And over Christmas, I was reading a book of lists of top 10, and it had the top 10 oldest cities in the United States, and you'll never guess what ranked number 2, the second oldest city.
In the United States?
In the United States.
How much time do I have?
The rest of the game.
Okay.
There's the game, a quick game summary. Clark, 6 of 10, 32 yards, 7 rushes, 5 for Oxendine. Total offense thus far only 40 yards. Starting now, Virginia Tech at their own 12-yard line. And with that speed, Lamont Pegues in a nice hole up the middle. He picks up the first down near the 25-yard line. A gain of 12. Mike Pringley and Brian Simmons on the tackle. Good play.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line of Virginia Tech here. They get some separation. They get some push. They get some guys out of the middle. And Pegues, again with that speed, pops up through there. Newman 9 finally gets him, knocks him down. Longest running play of the day to this point by Virginia Tech. And again, something to build on, piece by piece, to get Virginia Tech back in the game.
Pegues now the tailback. He gets the call again. Helmet to helmet, spins forward for a couple of yards on the play. Kay Mays with the tackle, the middle linebacker.
Now we have talked about how good this North Carolina defense is because their corners are able to play bump and run. North Carolina can commit 8, sometimes 9 guys inside to stop the run. That's why it's so difficult for Virginia Tech to consistently get the ball up the field running the ball. See the bump and run here and here? All the guys inside. There's 7 guys right there at the line of scrimmage.
Pegues again, the hole this time to the left side. And he's out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. They've gone back to that ground attack. Brandon Spoon with the tackle. And the key to that offensive line is Gennaro DiNapoli, or the G-man, as everybody calls him on the team.
What do you call this game? A money game?
Yeah.
Going to try to impress the pro scouts.
Yep.
Going to the combine. He's also going to play an East-West Shrine game. He says this is the money game, but so far
Carolina has wrapped up the vault.
Yeah, he's.
Good job, O-line. Good job.
And Carolina's not going to back off, Charlie. They came with a blitz on that play. They don't want to give Virginia Tech anything here.
They figured it's a money game for them, too.
Yeah, absolutely. More money.
More respect.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Try to time the blitz. Kay Mays just a little, half a step. You heard Oscar Davenport talk about respect. And North Carolina believes that they should be an Alliance Bowl team. And the Gator Bowl is not an Alliance Bowl. They feel like they were shortchanged with that one loss to Florida State and a 10-1 record. And they thought they should be treated with a little more respect.
They're making that statement today, aren't they?
Yeah, Virginia Tech would vote for him.
Good fake. Clark throws, now his pressure throws, and is incomplete. Clark with an excellent fake, then waited, stepped to his left, rolled out. Kay Mays was there for Carolina. Marcus Gildersleeve was the intended receiver. It's incomplete.
Yeah, Clark does a good job here of getting away from the first rusher. That's Kay Mays. Then Greg Ellis, 87, is right in his face. And again, he can't set up to really throw the ball properly. So you can see hurried twice, 5 knockdowns, 1 sack, that for a touchdown.
2nd down and 10. Nice outside in move by Lamont Pegues, but he's not going to net him any yardage.
Did you see that it was caught from the backside?
Brandon Spoon.
Number 44 comes all the way from the backside.
What's a linebacker at 6'3", 235.
Yeah, watch him come from the backside again. It's rare to find this many players on one team that have size and speed. You hesitate for a moment, they'll catch you from the backside. You run right at them, they just beat you right in the mouth.
Pegues has 6 carries for 24 yards in the ball game. Carolina leads 22-0 with 4:25 and counting time remaining in the first half.
Blitz again.
Whistle sound. Clark's guarding the ball. We've got a flag on the far side. Maybe a delay of game called against Virginia Tech.
Dead ball, delay against the offense.
Now, this is not what Frank Beamer expected. Of course, they came in, though, with 2 straight losses, both on the road to Pitt and West Virginia. just have not played the way they did. Began the season 4-0. Great promise. Virginia Tech is in its 5th straight bowl game. They are just outmanned.
3rd down and 15. Flag is down. Clark is down.
Zone blitz. Had defensive linemen dropping out right in the middle of the passing lanes, Charlie.
Russell Davis was right in the middle of everything.
Absolutely.
Formerly a defensive end.
Holding
inside.
on the offense is declined. 4th down.
And that means that Jimmy Kibble, with the win, will be kicking it away for Virginia Tech.
Frank Beamer, I think, would even admit at this point he is seeing a defensive clinic. If you can get athletes as good as North Carolina has and deploy them this way, they're going to embarrass a lot of opponents. And they have.
Nay Brown is the return man. Stretcher partially blocked. It is caught downfield by one of the upbacks.
Reggie Love catches it.
Yes, he does. 24 yards on the kick. It was Dre Bly who got a piece of it.
A second kick blocked. He's going to come right up the middle. And then Reggie Love, number 24, catches it on the fly. Again, a great defensive or special teams play.
Dre Bly, number 31, who had just a piece of the football on the block, has scored a touchdown this year, has 5 interceptions on the season, 16 career interceptions.
Yeah, 16 career interceptions in 22 games. That's regular season games.
And twice a consensus All-American.
Yeah, like Charles Woodson of Michigan, it's rare that you find a cornerback who has such an impact on a game. Dre Bly is just like Charles Woodson in that aspect.
Keldorf from the shotgun, hands to Linton, and Linton goes around the left corner. Chris Keldorf, the quarterback, making his statement today with big plays.
Again, just his 18th start. This a nice throw to Linton, then down the field for the touchdown. Beautifully thrown, as John Dockery said earlier, with the wind, put the right arc on it. A nice scramble here to avoid the rush, makes the completion to Nay Brown. Keldorf has played beautifully in his first half. Of course, he's had a lot of support with 2 scores by the defense, or 1 by special teams and 1 by the defense.
And he told us that his dad was an option quarterback at Air Force. Incomplete. Going to the tight end, Algie Crumpler. That's a little bit off target. I thought he had it there for a moment.
But that may be the toughest throw that a quarterback has.
Why?
Well,
Why
because the receiver is running dead away from him. Here he is right here, right straight away. Throws it over the wrong shoulder, or Crumpler looks over the wrong shoulder, whichever it is. Actually, it wasn't that far off. 6'5", 227. Charlie, he looked a lot bigger than 6'5", 227, didn't he?
You're right. And you mentioned earlier, 35 career touchdown passes coming into the Gator Bowl. Carolina, if they've won Achilles for the Tar Heels, they're 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Well, you can forget about that. And his tight end, Algie Crumpler. Jamel Smith with the tackle.
You know, for Keldorf's size, you expect a guy like this to have a big, strong arm. But he said, when I asked him, what's your strength? And he said, actually, pre-snap read, and I'm best short and medium. Watch a lot of tape. This is a West Coast style of offense. You're always looking for the outlet receiver. You go where the defense sends you in its coverage. And he said, I read defenses very well. I don't make a lot of big mistakes.
Inside handoff to Jonathan Linton. Keon Carpenter with the tackle.
And Charlie, one other comment on Chris Keldorf. We'll have more before the day's out, but I believe he's an unknown quantity to NFL scouts. He just has
was
not
an unknown quantity to college scouts.
That's true. You're right. From Manhattan Beach, California, played more basketball.
And a couple of JCs.
But he's one of those quarterbacks who is an unknown quantity to pro scouts. Wants a chance in the pros, but showing himself well here today.
Here comes the blitz. Rolls away from it. Throws back. incomplete. Kind of hung that one out. Nay Brown, the intended receiver.
That was taking a chance.
Yeah,
oh,
Summers did the coverage.
He's down. Did he get somebody hit him in the shin? It looked like.
You tried to hit him high.
Yeah, not a good choice here by Keldorf.
No.
There is pressure right up the middle. Good job of avoiding it. Philip Summers was the rover back who got in his face, and it looked like he got kicked right in the shin bone.
Mm-hmm.
But don't throw it late down the middle like that. Throw the thing out of bounds.
Third down and 8. Incomplete. Jason Peace, the intended receiver, broken up by Jamel Smith.
And Charlie, I got the feeling that Jason Peace didn't even look back. He's in the slot. See, he's not even looking.
You're right.
He sees the linebacker coming from the inside. Keldorf threw it to the right spot. And on fourth down, they're going to go for it.
Fourth down and 8.
Yeah, Carl Torbush does not want to rub it in here. You know, that's why he's going for it on fourth down. He could try a field goal here. It'd be 47 yards. He doesn't want to show up Frank Beamer and Virginia Tech.
Josh McGee is hit from 46. Makes no sense to punt when you're this far down.
Sure,
so
I think this is a nice touch by Carl Torbush.
And we have a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. .131 time remaining in the first half. Fourth down and 8, 29-yard line of Virginia Tech. What do you like here, Bob?
Screen to a running back. Let's see if they call it.
Incomplete downfield to L.C. Stevens.
Not a screen, just a simple square out route, not completed. No damage done. It doesn't hurt North Carolina. It doesn't really rub Virginia Tech's nose in the 22-0 score. I like the choice by Coach Torbush of North Carolina.
Virginia Tech takes over on their own 30-yard line, first down. With 1:25 now left to go in the first half, and they are down 22-0. Clark from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz from the outside. Pass is complete to Marcus Parker. He stays in bounds. The clock will continue to move.
Pass complete to Marcus Parker.
Brian Simmons with the tackle. Now, one of the advantages that Virginia Tech has from their no huddle is now they can pick up the pace, and they're used to doing it.
Yeah.
It's not entirely different. They just move a little bit quicker.
They do have a different speed. Half roll.
Throws. Incomplete. Overthrown. Sean Scales, the intended receiver. Reggie Love had picked him up.
But again, decent pressure, even though Al Clark moves out. Brandon Spoon, number 44, out there. You see Al Clark looking at the little menu on his sleeve. Scales just goes right by the slot coverage man. And the coverage stays there. Reggie Love just stays right with him. That would have been a tough completion.
Third down and 4. Comes to this side. Pass is complete at the 45-yard line. Michael Stewie has the reception. Robert Williams had the coverage on him. And here come the Hokies.
Robert Williams, number 29 in North Carolina, upset that the completion was made in his area. I mean, he and Dre Bly, they not only want to make interceptions, they don't want anybody to catch the ball in their area.
Clock is stopped with the first down.
Blitz.
Here comes a blitz. And it's knocked away at the line of scrimmage.
Kay Mays.
Kay Mays does it. 6'5", 245 pounds.
He was kind of hovering right behind the line of scrimmage. Here's Mays right here, and he just kind of drifts up here and reads Al Clark's eyes. And then again, look at the athletic ability. Times it perfectly, knocks the ball away.
Nice vertical leap. 40 seconds left to go in the first half. Is complete at the 40-yard line.
Nice pattern run by Michael Stewie, 31. Very nice pattern.
14 yards.
Gets away from the bump and run, and then watch him come back with a football. Excellent job done. Again in front of Williams. They don't even try Dre Bly's side, do they, Charlie?
Not at all. Here comes the blitz again. Goes to the far side. It is incomplete.
Now that was
Scales, the intended receiver, and Phillips in the cover.
And that was the slot receiver. Dre Bly had the outside receiver. It is remarkable that Dre Bly, the two-time consensus All-American, gets 5 interceptions this year. He had 11 last year. People don't throw his way. He just stands out there by himself. He may or may not get dirty.
Clark has completed 9 of 16. 3 of 5 for 30 yards on this drive. Ball is loose as Clark is sacked. Carolina has the ball. Vonnie Holland.
Holland has the recovery, the pressure by Mike Pringley, number 91. And again, you know, North Carolina gives you a little bit. Then it looks like when they want to turn it up, they can. Watch 91. Again, he gets through 2 blockers. And right in Al Clark's face. And Vonnie Holliday with the fumble recovery.
So Carolina takes over now with 13 seconds. They want a timeout. At 13 seconds left to go in the first half. Here's Mike Pringley, number 91, the junior from Linden, New Jersey. Be sure to be with us at halftime. We'll have the Sun America halftime report. Hannah Storm will be hosting it in our New York studio with all the scores and highlights and a look at the NFL divisional playoffs. It's going to be an exciting weekend.
I agree.
Of NFL football.
Do we know for sure that Elvis Gerbach is going to be starting quarterback for Kansas City? Hannah will probably have that answer.
I don't think that I don't think that Marty Schottenheimer has announced his final decision.
Marty would do that?
Yeah.
But how about the 4 athletes at quarterback? You got John Elway, Gannon or Elvis Gerbach, Cordell Stewart, and Drew Bledsoe.
Ooh, yeah.
1, they could buy their own country. 2,
they could buy their own.
All 4 can play.
They own their own.
Yes.
They already buy. They could buy their own. Very true. Very true. All right, let's see what Carolina wants to do in the last 13 seconds of the first half. In a ball game they've dominated, and they lead by a score of 22-0. Flag is down. Keldorf is down. Nate Williams got in, the sophomore from Jacksonville, so he has his own rooting section here. It'll be holding against Carolina. It's going to be refused.
So a sack and a hold against North Carolina.
And the grass, always a telltale sign.
That's a divot. Yeah. You never want to see that on a quarterback, a divot. That's always a bad sign, but they lead 22-0. Second sack of the day by Virginia Tech. Hey, you see, you know, if you put a little mulch in there, it might grow, you know. Put that helmet away for the season. Next year, have a little, the whole thing will be, there's a good offensive lineman. Oh, that's Crumpler, the tight end. He's cleaning off the quarterback's helmet.
Sure, now he'll throw to him.
I think they just take the,
Now they're going to take the kneel down.
Yeah, the piggy, the pigtail formation here. That 22-0 is enough.
This always reminds me when this happens. I asked Dan Marino, doesn't he love the excitement of coming from behind late in the ballgame? He said, no, to tell you the truth, I'd rather have a big lead and take the kneel down.
Take the kneel down.
Take the kneel down. Much more exciting from a quarterback standpoint.
A much practiced play.
How much is this practice in practice?
No, it's not. I'm joking.
Not at all?
I'm joking. Philadelphia should have practiced it. The Giants should have practiced it.
So a first half dominated by North Carolina and led by their quarterback.
And like 96.1
Are you surprised?
No. Nothing that Frank Beamer had hoped for worked in the first half for Virginia Tech.
Let's go down to John Dockery.
Coach, you knew the Carolina defense was good. Did you know they were this good?
Yeah, well, we knew they was good. They are good. You know, our problem is offensively, we give them a touchdown. Defensively, we gave them a long play. Kicking-wise, we give them a touchdown, and that's the wrong way to play North Carolina.
Second half, what do you do offensively to try to get some points on the board?
I think we got to keep mixing it up. We've had some shots down the field, and we haven't been able to hit them. If we could ever get some shots on down the field, I really feel like that would help us out. The pass protection has been reasonably good, but we just got to hit some of those balls down the field.
Good luck to you, Coach. Thank you. All right, Charlie.
All right, thank you, John. It is halftime. North Carolina leading Virginia Tech by a score of 22-0. And now let's join Hannah Storm in our New York studio.
Welcome back to the Gator Bowl on this New Year's Day, where North Carolina leads Georgia Tech 22-0. And I'm with the new head coach, Carl Torbush. And Coach, first half as a head coach, what's it like?
Well, if we can play like that the rest of our life, I'll be in the Hall of Fame one of these days. But quite honestly, I thought we played really well early. I thought we lost a little bit of consistency late and maybe a little bit of urgency. So that's what we tried to do at halftime, because this game's a long way from over with. We had 2 or 3 big plays on defense. I thought the offense moved the ball well, but we've got to control the ball this second half, make sure we don't have any turnovers, and make sure that they don't come up with a big play, because I thought they moved the ball a little bit late in the first half, and that could have gotten us in trouble. We came up with a turnover after they drove the ball a little bit, so we just need to go back to basics and make sure that if they score, that they have to drive the length of the field and that we don't have any turnovers on offense.
I have to just ask you one quick thing. You're up in the press box here. Any inclination to go down to the field?
Right now? No, not so fast, John. No, we're getting some things done here, and right now, like I told you earlier, I don't see any problems whatsoever. So we need to keep the consistency and continuity we have right now. So no, I will not be going on the field today for sure.
Thank you very much, Coach. And Charlie Jones, next year Coach will be down on the sidelines, but for this, his first game, he's staying up here. Charlie?
But John, it's working.
Oh, is it working?
I wouldn't change a thing. It's really working so well for him. Let's take a look at the highlights of the first half.
Well, it's going to be all one-sided, Charlie. That's pretty obvious. One, this is the great throw by Chris Keldorf for the touchdown. Just split the defense, perfectly thrown, and quickly. And then here's the block kick. Dre Bly ends up with it. That's one special team score, one offensive score, and here is the defensive score. Recovered by Greg Ellis in the end zone. So basically, North Carolina to this point has given Virginia Tech very little chance for a deep breath, even though not even a chance to score. Just what can we try? What will work?
All right, now, what can they try? What can work to get them back in the ball game?
Well, I think Carl Torbush, he put it right just perfectly. That is, don't give them a chance to get back in the football game. Protect the football. Don't turn it over. Be very conservative. And they pretty much got this game under control.
All right, now let's take a look at the numbers. Here are the official halftime stats.
And the most amazing thing there, Charlie, is the 8 rushing yards by Virginia Tech in the first half. Came in averaging over 220 yards rushing, just 8. Total personality change for Frank Beamer and Virginia Tech. They are not a football team that can stand back there and throw it 35 or 40 times a game.
North Carolina, they won the toss. They deferred to start the second half, and they will have the first opportunity here on the kickoff return. Antoine Black on the return for the Tar Heels. And a nice return of some 34 yards. Stephen Hunt makes the tackle for Virginia Tech.
Now, I've got another flag here on the return.
The conference being held around the 27-yard line.
Personal foul against the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Oh, that's against Virginia Tech, so they tack 15 yards onto the return. And how about this start? First half possessions for North Carolina. They scored on their first 2, but that only accounts for 10 of the 22 points scored by North Carolina in the first half. And that, in fact, has been the story of the first half, how much the special teams and defense have contributed.
And in a word, a lot.
A lot.
First down, Carolina. Jonathan Linton, the ball carrier. Now let's have a quarterback comparison.
Not fair. Clark 9 of 16, 62 yards, been sacked 3 times. Keldorf 7 of 14, 184 and a touchdown. Look at 4 completions over 20 yards, 1 of them for a score. Al Clark has been running for his life, and Chris Keldorf has had enough of a running game to just alleviate some of the pressure from Virginia Tech's pass rush.
At the 40-yard line. Keldorf sets, throws, goes to the far side. As everybody knows by now, has been watching the telecast, Carl Torbush, the new head coach at Carolina. He replaces Mac Brown, who has become the new head coach at the University of Texas for the Longhorns in Austin. And we received a telegram from Mac Brown, and it said, Sally and I will be watching the Tar Heels, looking forward to that 11th win to put closure on one of the best seasons in North Carolina history. We're excited about our future with the Burnt Orange of Texas. Our thoughts and a part of us always will be with the Carolina Blue.
Well, Keldorf hit late.
Crumpler, the tight end. It's incomplete. 4th down.
Interesting thing about Mac Brown, when we talked to the players, apparently Mac Brown came in one day and told the players, I'm not leaving. And then 2 days later, he came in and said, well, fellas, I am leaving. I'm going. So some of the players were very offended. And as a matter of fact, some even said if Carl Torbush hadn't been named the head coach, they would have left too. Dre Bly said that he would have gone out in the NFL draft. So the choice of Torbush was an important one.
It's a fake. Off of a screen pass over the fake punt. Down the side, first down inside the 15-yard line. Brian Simmons.
Beautifully executed.
Whoa. 27 yards.
Charlie, you could see the look from the right side. You're going to see a lot of pressure, but the punter does a good job of throwing it. You could see the Virginia Tech said, oh, man, we're going to block this punt.
Now, Simmons, number 41, he's a consensus All-America linebacker.
Well, again, this just adds to the dominance of North Carolina. Frank Beamer said, well, you know, we got him stopped here. We've done a good job. So we'll start over. And all of a sudden, a great call by Carl Torbush, the head coach of North Carolina, to just continue this control.
First down, Carolina. And we've got whistles sounding. Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, is sitting next to Carl Torbush.
5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yeah, there's the head coach. There's Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator. 2 great friends.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when Mac Brown left, they both said, let's go in together and tell him
we want the job.
We want the job. Yeah. Carl will take it. Greg stays. Greg gets it. Carl will stay. But Greg is from Texas, and he wants to return to Texas. And Carl said, I don't have a closer coaching friend than Greg Davis. So it's nice that they're sitting next to each other this last game together.
Jonathan Linton, the ball carrier. Steve Tate, who was a walk-on as a kicker, middle linebacker, and the leading tackler for Virginia Tech this year.
That's number 49. Steve Tate. The story has been in that Carolina blue uniform today. Linton is a wonderful, wonderful story with his knee injury, re-injury down here in practice. Banged it on the first series, comes back to play.
And just continues to add yardage to his total after the injury. Now the reception, and he will be down at the 3-yard line. Anthony Midget with the tackle.
Charlie, the thing I like about Linton, this is a converted fullback. He's only been a running back this season, runs a nice pattern here. And like Leon Johnson, the big running back for North Carolina last year, catches it as well as he runs with the ball. And such a valuable commodity to an NFL offense is a receiver out of the backfield who has some experience catching the ball, running patterns.
Third down and 1. Linton has 39 yards on 3 receptions. Linton carries. His mom and dad are here, and we had a chance to meet him yesterday. His mom's a great athlete.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she is the captain of the home. She runs it.
Yeah,
now, his dad is a truck driver who, hauls across the country, and he's been traveling with him.
When he was
Jonathan has since he was 6 years old in the summer for his vacation, so he spent some time with his dad.
Yeah, Mom was raised in Jamaica, was a track athlete.
A track star.
I said, what did you do? Everything. High jump, long jump, 100 meters, 400 meters, you name it, I did it.
Keldorf with a quarterback sneak. They'll stop the clock to umpire. They were fun to talk to.
Yes, they were. They didn't want to come into the meeting. I said, come on, bring them in here. John has
3 brothers and a sister, and
they're all
great athletes. Yes. And we said, who did you get it from, your mom or your dad? And he said, I got it from my mom. And his dad said, he got it from his mom. Yeah. That's right. What a nice family.
Yeah, but when he was 10, 12 years old, his dad would be on the road for months at a time. So he'd go out and spend his summer vacations with his dad in the truck a month at a time.
Said he enjoyed pumping gas. That's what he really liked to do, was pumping gas.
Yeah, who do you suppose, first down North Carolina, so it'll be first and goal. Who do you suppose controlled the radio in that big rig? Dad or John?
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. They probably played a lot of tapes. Probably a lot of audio tapes.
Maybe.
But he said, I learned the country. I know all the states. I know where everything is located. I've been there. Meanwhile, Carolina has been here. No question about it. Linton on the right side. Did he get in?
Oh, just
No, he
short.
didn't get in. Did not get in.
And see, in a goal line situation for a guy like Linton, an ex-fullback, great advantage for him. Knows that proper body lean to get into the end zone.
11 touchdowns during the regular season.
Really didn't get much of a lead block, but breaks through that first tackle.
Very close.
Reaches into the end zone, but his knee is down.
Yep. And it's where the ball is when his knee is down. That's where the play comes to a close. Williams is the motion man. Here he tries the right side. Now he's got it. Touchdown, Jonathan Linton. He knows where mom and dad are sitting.
All set up by the fake punt. Great call by Carl Torbush. And you can bet he made that call.
That's a head coach's call.
Absolutely.
Right.
Only a head coach's call.
Right.
He looks awful reserved and quiet and controlled up there.
But inside is turning.
What's the big deal about being a head coach for North Carolina? With these kind of guys, I just got to get them to the stadium on time.
McGee with the extra point. And it hits the upright. Was it partially blocked? No good. He nails the upright. Let's take another look at it.
This is the touchdown. Again, that body lean. Gets those shoulders low. Excellent blocking up front. There wasn't much resistance there by Virginia Tech.
And here is that missed extra point. Yes, it was partially blocked. Back in a moment. Along with John Dockery and Bob Trumpy, I'm Charlie Jones. 9:43 time remaining, third quarter. Jonathan Linton just scoring the first touchdown of the second half for Carolina. 10 plays, 46-yard drive, time 5:17.
And that run, 26-yard run on the fake punt by Brian Simmons. Nice catch. Extended the drive for the score.
Mitch with the kickoff. John Scales is the return man. And he is swarmed out of bounds.
Swarmed.
7 yards. 7 yards on the turn.
Swarmed.
7 yards on the return. Join NBC tonight for must-see comedy, Friends, all new news radio, Seinfeld, and Just Shoot Me. That's followed by ER. That's on NBC tonight. Big Thursdays on NBC. Oh, yeah.
You got to start watching Seinfeld a little closer.
That's right.
You know? Another show that I love.
Oh, it's
not going to be there anymore. It happened to MASH. It happened to St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, but you know what? Don O'Meara and that West Coast group, they come up with some new ones for us. They always do. Nick Sorensen is now the cornerback for Virginia Tech. He hands off to Ken Oxendine, still going at the 50. Down the far sideline, might be the spark. That Tech needs to get back in the ball. Omar Brown finally stops him. Big play for Virginia Tech. Maybe their biggest of the ball game.
Actually, Charlie, I think that probably that run is more yards than they had rushing the entire first half. It's just a straight drop back, a draw play, a missed tackle there and there. And normally North Carolina, a very good tackling team. And Oxendine, longest run of the day, steps out of bounds. 36 yards on the carry.
Sorensen, a quarterback draw. Steps back, comes forward. Nick Sorensen, stopped by Brian Simmons.
And Charlie, I think that's exactly why Sorensen is in there. You can see his numbers for the season, just one start, but he has great speed, and he took the majority of the snaps in preparation for the Gator Bowl. Al Clark, not feeling well because of the flu and coming back from that knee problem. Sorensen took the majority of the snaps, and I think a quarterback draw or quarterback rolls or quarterback runs is one way Virginia Tech can get the ball down the field.
2nd down and 8. Blitz is coming. He scrambles to the right. Now he sets and throws. Has a man open and hits him. Nice play. Good scramble. Sean Scales out of bounds. 13 yards. First down, Virginia Tech.
Now the threat of a quarterback running the ball changes the personality and the mindset of the defense. And you can see the way defenders are kind of laying back a little bit, and then a good job on the pump fake and makes the completion to Scales.
27-yard line, first down. Sorensen taking a lot of time. Changing just to a straight handoff to Marcus Parker, right to the teeth of that defense. And Carolina clumps down on them again. They're tough to run against. Marcus Dow, this is his first game. Fractured kidney. Bob talked about it earlier. He makes the tackle.
You see, the first half possession is a total of 74 yards for Virginia Tech for the entire first half. This drive already 53. And Coach Beamers is saying, well, why didn't I put Sorensen in there earlier? He was ready. He was fresh. He took the majority of the snaps down here.
Blitz. 2nd 9 blitz. Spins out a little. Oh, whoa.
I think it's Russell Davis, 96, who gets him. It's a good job at the outset of setting up and protecting the quarterback, but then when he goes to run, watch 96 peel out of there. Bam, right between the 1 and the 4. Really put him on the ground. Look at his head snap.
Blitzes and sacks. Straight 5-man rush, incomplete.
What Sorensen cannot do particularly well is throw the ball. Just hasn't seen enough college defenses to really read them well. He's out there for one reason, Charlie, and that is, son, when in doubt, run. And on 4th down, it looks like Virginia Tech is going to go for it. Why not? Trailing 28-0. Let's let it all hang out here.
4th and 11 at the 28-yard line. We're at the 7-minute mark, time remaining, 3rd quarter. Carolina leads at 28-0. And there is what he does so well. He'll get the spot. He'll have the first down.
It's close.
Sorensen scrambling for the first down. Let's see where they give him the marker. Omar Brown with the tackle and a first down.
He's looking to throw, but his second choice is to run. Kind of get up limping a little bit. I think he got hit right in the thigh. And this is a defensive coordinator / head coach's worst nightmare, a running quarterback. The one guy you can't really account for in an offense. No defense can.
16-yard line, first down. Blitz is coming, and it involves a run blitz as Oxendine is stopped for a loss by Vonnie Holliday.
Charlie, how many times today have we seen defensive linemen just jump around blocks? Holliday gets inside between the center and the guard, right there at the right spot to make the tackle. And they are a committed bunch. They get across that line of scrimmage and disrupt as much in the offensive backfield as they can.
A loss of 5, second down 15, 21-yard line.
Late substitution here by North Carolina on defense.
And Virginia Tech let 5 yards get away. A quick snap, they could have gotten the 5 yards. But Carolina had too many men on the field. And the sack at the 29-yard line, Greg Ellis, who has scored a touchdown, recovering a fumble, and Brian Simmons team up for the Tar Heels. It's third down and 22.
The all-time sack leader in the history of North Carolina, Greg Ellis. There's that swim move, Charlie. Gets that left arm underneath the tackle's left arm and just accelerates by him.
He said he liked Lawrence Taylor and
Reggie White.
Yeah.
What a combination.
Yeah, that is. Third down and 22. It was first and 10, second and 15, now third and 22. As the Carolina defense asserts itself again. Left flat, out of bounds. The reception is there at about the 23-yard line. Marcus Parker pulls it in. Then Terry Billups bumps him out of bounds.
Well, now it's fourth and very, very long. Virginia Tech is going to try a field goal, but Sorensen did his job. He got the one big draw play by Oxendine. Look, Clark over there to help out as best he possibly can, but some movement by this Virginia Tech offense.
Shane Graham is hit from 48 yards out. Cliff Anders is the center. He'll snap it. Caleb Hurd, a walk-on holder for Shane Graham. They went to high school together. At the 30-yard line, an attempt of 40 yards. And it is good. From 40 yards away. And at the 4:37 mark of the third quarter, Virginia Tech is on the scoreboard. All right, here is the field goal from 40 yards away by Shane Graham.
Just inside the right upright on Virginia Tech's 9th drive of the ball game. They finally put 3 points on the board.
And Frank Beamer says at least that's a start. Kibble will kick off. Antoine Black and Chucky Parquet are the deep backs. And this will go into the end zone for the touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So we have 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Time remaining in the third. North Carolina is up 28-3.
136 watching here in the Gator Bowl, and millions more on NBC television across America.
That was on January the 2nd, 1971, and that was the first Gator Bowl that I broadcast. My broadcast partner was Al DeRogatis. Auburn's Pat Sullivan dueling Mississippi's Archie Manning. Sullivan connected with Terry Beasley for a 12-yard touchdown pass at 351 yards on the day. Archie Manning at Floyd Franks, 34-yard touchdown. The final score was Auburn 35 and Mississippi 28.
You're saying that was your first?
That was my first Gator Bowl.
This is your 50th.
This is my 50th
college bowl game.
Yeah. 5-0. Wow, that's a lot.
I've missed a few of those. You know that? I've got some, but I've missed a few of those.
I'll send you tapes. When I started, we didn't have tapes.
Oh, it started in 1971. That was your first year.
That was the first Gator Bowl, and I did a second. This is my third Gator Bowl. I did another one in 1971. At the this one was at the beginning of the year. The other was at the end of the year. But at that time, we had NBC did a lot of bowl games, and they were all and they were December the 25th. We did them on on Christmas morning, on New Year's Day. You had Hula Bowl in January, Sun Bowl. All
you had to be gone from December 1 to January 30 doing all these.
Oh, sure, my banker loved it. Oh, yeah.
50 college bowl games.
Yeah, phone home at Christmas. Oh, it's great fun. I love the College Bowl. Jonathan Linton for Carolina, stopped by Lauren Johnson.
Again, a nice little swing pass here to Linton out in the flat. A good throw by Keldorf. Excellent catch for Linton with that knee problem. He's shown himself very well there. 65 yards rushing, 45 yards receiving, and a score. A very good utility back.
Third down in the yard. This is about the only area that Carolina has struggled, and that is being on third down.
Well,
and they have the first down.
Yeah, look at the smile on Keldorf's face. Yeah, he was on the sideline last year, and we talked to him yesterday. I said, you know, the only thing missing in you is starts. This, again, just his 18th start at North Carolina. Most college quarterbacks would like to have 30 or 35 for the pros to get a real good look at him. He's only got 18.
Here's Linton, starts inside, stops, nice move to the outside, picks up a couple of yards. Jonathan Linton, well, Keldorf's making up for lost time today, and he's really looked good.
Yeah, it's a money game for him.
Yeah.
To his knowledge, he has not gotten an invitation to the NFL Combine.
Well, if he doesn't have one, he's going to get one tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe so. But, I mean, that invitation to the NFL Combine that's the magic letter. You know, we want to look at you closely, measure you, time you.
You're on the list.
You're on the list.
You're on the list.
And it's
so important.
99.9% of it make it to the NFL.
Here comes the blitz. Gets it away underneath the blitz. And that's a spin move by Linton down the sideline to the 30-yard line. It all started with Keldorf, 37 yards on the play. Bob mentioned earlier, he's a big, strong kid. He stands in, has the pressure, comes underneath the throw on the blitz to Linton, and Linton down the sideline. Jamel Smith finally makes a tackle. There's the move.
Look at the job. Sidearm.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely sidearm. Great job of staying with the receiver. And an excellent catch by Linton, and he turns what would have been a negative play into a big positive. Earlier this season, Linton against Georgia Tech had 138 yards rushing and 137 yards receiving. And with that big catch, now he's approaching 100 yards receiving today.
31-yard line. Nice break, pressure to the backside, and he's brought down. He showed something else there. That is his strength. He's brought down, but he doesn't lose the football, and he controls himself. He's a big, strong kid.
Looked like it was Corey Moore, number 56, from the backside, right here, who gets around the offensive tackle. And you're looking at it, he does hang on to the football. Of course, that's good fundamentals. You see a lot of quarterbacks, the ball in their hand and the other hand not there. Keldorf has both hands on the ball, so he can absorb the hit and hang on. Third sack of the day, but they've not gotten the ball away from him.
Second down and 13 now at the 34-yard line. And they'll take a timeout. Carolina wants a timeout with 47 seconds left in the third. So we'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. About the same time that I did my first Gator Bowl, I did my first national commercial. It was for Toyota, and we did it in the Mojave Desert. And this is what it looked like.
Motor Trend magazine tested the Toyota Corolla with the new 102 horsepower engine and came up with this. 0 to 60 in 12.6 seconds. For an economy car, that's pretty fast.
Is how fast you can go from 0 to 60 really important? Ask yourself next time you head onto the expressway.
Oh, Charlie.
It was how
burning rubber in the Mojave Desert.
It was how fast you could get all that. The car would go flying by me. You know, we did like 40 takes. Go ahead. It covered me with sand and dirt. And they had to vacuum my jacket.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it was great fun.
So your connection with Toyota goes back a lot longer than we thought.
Oh, yes, and it continues with it now. It's great.
Oh, my goodness.
Keldorf on target right over the middle is tight end. Reggie Crumpler. Keon Carpenter with the tackle, a gain of 20 yards. He is accurate.
Yes, and he likes the tight end, so I like the quarterback who likes the tight end. Here's Crumpler right here. Good pattern on top of the linebacker, underneath the defensive back. Good protection. Keldorf waits. Very accurate. I mean, Keldorf at 6'5½", maybe even 6'6", can stand back there and find tight ends over the middle. Tight ends love tall quarterbacks.
And that's why the NFL loves tall quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Also.
Whoa.
Linton hit helmet to helmet at the line of scrimmage. Stop for no gain. We'll take the countdown to the end of the third quarter.
No game on the play. 2nd and 10.
3 down, 1 to go. Carolina leads it 28-3. We'll return to the Gator Bowl after these messages from your local station. We're ready now to set sail to the fourth quarter here at the Gator Bowl. And there's get out of the way of the schooner. As you saw the scoring by quarters.
Sound effects have been important this afternoon.
They are. 2nd down and 11, the ball at the 14-yard line. Tell from the shadows now Carolina going right into the sun. It'll be easier to throw to the quarterback's left, which he does successfully, than a right. And Octavius Barnes has his 2nd touchdown of the ball game.
What a throw.
Yeah.
Woo. Look at the smile on Keldorf's face.
14 yards, touchdown.
3 catches, 2 scores for Octavius Barnes today. Not a bad percentage. Keldorf threw that perfectly. The defensive back had no chance to knock that ball away. None.
Josh McGee with the extra point attempt. It is good. And Carolina now leads 35-3.
Charlie mentioned earlier that Keldorf said that one of the best things he does is read defenses. Well, watch the defensive back. It doesn't even have a chance to look back. It's Prelo. Again, he comes on the inside. The ball is thrown perfectly. Prelo 20, not even looking. That may have been the prettiest play of the day. The throw over the linebacker, right on, had confidence that the receiver would be looking back. Very, very well done.
And Keldorf's reaction. We mentioned earlier that Carolina a bit of a slow starter. Now, this is all season long. 16 points in the first quarter. Well, they scored 16 points in the first quarter here, but look at the fourth quarter. By far their best, 109 points all season long. And they started off right here in the fourth quarter.
Now, well, they got a chance to score a lot, and that one took them 5 seconds. So
Sean Scales is the deep back on the return.
Most impressive drive of the day. 9 plays, 80 yards for the score.
And here is Scales on the return across the 20, 25, and out near the 29-yard line. And now with the ball.
He lateraled it to Chris Steadley to try to extend the play.
There we go. And we talked earlier about Scales, and when he was in middle school, how his high school coach, because of his problems at home and a brother who was involved in drugs and all kinds of things, in reality moved in with his middle school coach, and he and his family took care of him. Then when they moved out of town, then he moved in with several other families. We talked to this young man. Really impressive. He went back as the high school commencement speaker this year, and his theme was continue to work. Here's the reverse. And down the sideline it is Scale with that same theme. Continue to work, and if you do, good things will happen.
Yeah, the other thing about Sean Scales is, too, he's one of those engaging young men that people like to help him. You know, it's the reverse Again, trying to run around the North Carolina defense.
Hawkins to Scales.
And you can see he doesn't appear to be totally healthy. Do you agree?
No, that's right.
Doesn't really have the stride in his leg. But again, he missed 6 games because of that foot surgery.
The surgery over the sheath, over the tendon of his foot.
Yeah, and it's going to take a while for him to recover. But write this young man's name down, pay attention to him, and hope that he succeeds. Wide open.
The play action. No, not good. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Charlie, thank you. And if you think people can't make a difference on this New Year's Day when hope springs eternal, I want you to meet Richard Fry and his wife Kelly. And these are the folks who took in Sean Scales at the tender age of, Richard, what was it?
14.
14. And what happened?
He called us on a weekend night and asked us to come pick him up, and we did at that point. He lived with us for the next few years, and now he's back with us now also.
His family situation at the time, Kelly, wasn't much, was it?
No, a lot of drugs in the family, and he wasn't sure where his father was, and he was just a great kid, so we were just happy to do what we could.
We're watching this running play, and I want to ask you also, what did you see in Sean? I mean, you don't just open your house and let someone in the door. What did you see in him that made you take him in?
You could see he had a vision where he wanted to go. He just needed some support to get there, and he's a super kid, and we just tried to support him in that quest.
I know he's still part of your family. What does it feel like today watching him complete his college career?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a little sad to see it ending, but it's just wonderful to see him out there again, especially coming back from his injury.
And I know he made a promise to you, and I'd like to get that after this play. I know he made one final promise to you.
3rd down and 6. Go ahead, Doc.
You know, he talked about the promise that he made to you. What was that final promise he made?
We said, please graduate from college, and he said, I'm going to do it. He's got one more class, and so May should be it. So, will be it.
It'll be time to celebrate. Well, congratulations. You two are terrific, and you made a difference.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Charlie?
And they did. And I tell you something else, Sean Scales will make a difference.
Yeah, and I guess that the only way you take the prize is that if the story impresses you, you do it for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. The blitz coming. The pass is incomplete.
Foreman threw it well to Scales. It was going to be Scales' drive if he catches that one.
It was 4th down. Carolina holds. Phillips was there for the defense. They'll take over on downs. Here's another look.
And he's looking right back into the sun, Charlie. You mentioned earlier, it's very hard to concentrate on that football. He cannot make the completion, so Carolina will take over.
And they take over with 12 minutes and 39 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. But first, we'll step aside. Back in a moment.
The Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota every day. By Bell South. Nobody knows a neighbor like a neighbor. By the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. And by new Edge Pro Gel. Lose the foam. Save your skin.
Welcome back to the Toyota Gator Bowl. Here is a look at the total offense thus far in the ball game. It's a mismatch.
Yeah, and the 290 yards passing shocks me. Absolutely shocks me. 60 yards rushing, it's been almost all Jonathan Linton. And unfortunately for Virginia Tech, they've had to go to the backup quarterback and hope that the quarterback Sorensen can run. That didn't work. And North Carolina gets the ball again.
Keldorf has completed 12 of 22 for 263, the 2 touchdowns, and 11 of his 12 completions have gone for first down. Jonathan Linton gets the call. Jamel Smith.
Well, their only loss was to Florida State. That's no great criticism. Florida State, one of the best teams there is in the country. Florida State's only loss was to Florida. And you can see that's when Oscar Davenport got hurt. These two teams are on par. I mean, they're close. And North Carolina is trying to approach Florida State because Florida State dominates their conference so much.
Little swing of the right flat is complete. You notice that score. Florida State scored 20 points. Now, no team has scored more than 20 points against this defense. Now, here's the AP top 10.
Now, here's this North Carolina at 10-1. Here's his Florida State at 10-1. There's a lot of very, very good teams here, but Charlie, I'm still of the opinion that we are looking at the best total defense in college football.
I agree. Carolina has the complete package. 3rd and 10 of the 32. Keldorf, left flat, pass is complete, up the sideline, out of bounds. Not going to make it. Had to wait on the mark where Nay Brown went out. Brown's nickname is Spot. We asked him, why is he Spot? And he says, because they tell me when I catch the ball, that's where they spot it.
In other words,
teammates call it.
In other words, he doesn't run after the catch.
Doesn't get a lot of yardage after the catch.
It's not a compliment. It's a criticism.
Brian Schmitz will be kicking it for Carolina. Larry Green is the return man. Wobbly kick pulled into the 19-yard line. Step to left, goes back right, and returns near the 30-yard. 11 yards on the return for Larry Green. 11 minutes left in the 4th quarter in the Toyota Gator Bowl. We'll be back in a moment. Head coach Frank Beamer and Virginia Tech were here at the Gator Bowl on December the 30th, 1994. The Gator Bowl that year was held in Gainesville, Florida. Tennessee's Peyton Manning passed for 189 yards in the ballgame, including this 36-yard touchdown pass. The final score was Tennessee 45 and Virginia Tech 23.
Most valuable player of that game was James Stewart, running back for Tennessee, who now plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars right here in Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida.
Virginia Tech now at their own 30-yard line, first down. Inside handoff to Ken Oxendine off of the right side, maybe a yard. That's going to be about it. Greg Ellis with the tackle.
Last 4 bowls for Virginia Tech. You see a pattern here, Charlie? Even number, lose. Even number, lose. They're losing today. Odd numbers, they win. So next year, I like Virginia Tech's chances.
I like their chances
in the 99 Toyota Gator Bowl.
Ken Oxendine, 38 yards and 9 carries. Sorensen on a scramble around the left side. Out to about the 33-yard line. Greg Ellis again with the tackle.
And for those of you who tuned in late, you see Sorensen at quarterback. Al Clark is not injured, but Coach Beamer, in an attempt to put more of a threat at the quarterback out there, Sorensen can run, will run, to try to generate some offense. Sorensen's been in there for most of the second half.
Sorensen from the shotgun. And the scramble. Heads back, stops, starts again. Straight up the middle. Fumble. Just a step away, but breaking a big one. He may have been marked down as the ball came out. No, they will retain possession. Derek Smith was there, but he does add some excitement, doesn't he?
Kind of looks like Fran Tarkenton here, doesn't he? He's not going to give up on the play. You can see he'd like to throw it, but no, I'm going to run it. Chasing him all over the field in the 4th quarter. He's trying to make a play. But a good job by Derek Smith to keep his head up and staying with the play to come up with a recovery.
And of course, part of the college football scene always the broadcasters for the schools, and we have some outstanding broadcasters here, both from Carolina and from Virginia Tech. And right now, let's join Bill Roth. He's the Virginia Tech sports announcer for the Hokies.
There that time. The clock continues to run. 9 minutes and 15 seconds left. But, you know, you look at Nick Sorensen there. I mean, there's no way Al Clark could have done that today. Absolutely not. Early in the season against Syracuse, now he did. Boy, that injury at the West Virginia game really hurt him.
Well, he had a courageous season nonetheless. Under 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Line of scrimmage is the 42-yard line. Second down and 10. Ball is in the middle of the field. Again, the backs are in the eye. And on a play fake, Nick fumbles the football, and it's back on the 37-yard line. And the ball is recovered by the Tar Heels. It is the Hokies' third turnover of the day. Each of the three coming from
So Sorensen fumbles, and Carolina has the ball. Third turnover today. Russell Davis has the recovery.
Unfortunately for the Virginia Tech announcers, there hadn't been a whole lot to talk about today. The third turnover, all quarterback fumbles. Ball just bounces away from him, and then there's a fight for it underneath. Several big body. Slips away. Russell Davis with the recovery. And that's one thing that North Carolina has not done particularly well this year, is get the turnovers. But today they have.
They take over the 34-yard line of Virginia Tech. First down. This is the tight end, Algie Crumpler. Into the right flat. He's stopped by Lorenzo Ferguson.
Here are the turnovers. Here are the turnovers. The block punt. Dre Bly turns it into 6 points. The sack, the fumble recovery by Greg Ellis in the end zone, another 6 points. And then Clark again back to throw. Hit, recovered again by North Carolina. 3 quarterback fumbles there, or 2, and the block punt, and then the one by Sorensen. So miscues all over the place for Virginia Tech. And look, Frank Beamer knew that his football team was going to have to play either a close to perfect or perfect game to compete, and they have not come close.
And as you mentioned, for the radio broadcasters, we appreciate them joining us in a moment. For Virginia Tech, they have had a lot to cheer about, a lot to talk about.
No, and it's been a while since Virginia Tech won a football game, Charlie. Don't forget that. I mean, they finished up the regular season with losses to Pitt and West Virginia. So after a 4-0 start, and to be short end of a 35-3 score now, the season has changed dramatically for Virginia Tech.
Keldorf calls a timeout for Carolina. Back in a moment. These are the 2 trophies that the 2 schools will be taking home, and they were at the coaches' luncheon yesterday, and they are magnificent.
Yeah, the winner, that's an offensive lineman's face mask, and this looks more like a quarterback or a running back. And the way this game is going, I think a quarterback or a running back is going to win that one. We'll know in a few moments.
Third down and 3 at the 27-yard line. Good continuing effort by Keeter. Mike Keeter, the senior from Arlington, Virginia.
There's Carl Torbush. He had one other stint as a head coach. For 1 season back in 1987, coached Louisiana Tech to a 3-8 record, then came to North Carolina with Mack Brown. And I liked what he said in the press conference. He said, to get me out of here, they're going to have to throw me out of here. This is my perfect job. I'm not leaving here forever. And, of course, Dean Smith made staying at North Carolina a very nice job, you know.
First and 10, and the ball is dropped. Gator, the intended receiver. Ferguson had the coverage on him. At the luncheon yesterday, when both of the head coaches spoke, Torbush said that he learned very early in life, he learned it from his high school coach, that you have 3 bones. You have three bones. Three bones. You have a funny bone, a wishbone, and a backbone. And if you're going to be a success, you need all 3 of them.
Oh, very
that's
good.
Pretty good, isn't it?
3 bones.
3 bones. Yeah.
You know what I was interested in? I talked to him about his relationship with Dean Smith, and he said, you know, I got along well with Dean Smith. Around
and out of bounds.
Anyway,
and who's going to pour the Gatorade on him in the booth?
Yeah, that's true.
The kids now are on the elevator going up with the Gatorade. 14 yards on that last carry.
But I asked him about Dean Smith, and I said, "Are you close? And did you call him?" He said, "Yes." I called him, and I said, "Look, if you're comfortable, would you mind recommending me?" And he said, "I don't know if he did or not." He said, "But the other coaches at North Carolina were in favor of me." I mean, consider that Carl Torbush is their second choice. They offered the job to Jim Donan, the head coach at Georgia. And Donan turned it down, and then the players interceded.
Let's go down to John Dockery as Gator appears.
You know, Charlie and Trump, on New Year's Day, lots of dreams and hopes, and there are a lot of athletes out there may not have been recruited, haven't gotten scholarships, but there are walk-on programs like the one at Virginia Tech where 20 players walk on, and many of them go on to get scholarships and start, like the defensive end, John Engelberger, and Steve Tate, the middle linebacker. They eventually play, some of them start, and they get scholarships. So there is hope for those kids out there that aren't heavily recruited. Back to you guys.
3 of their 4 starting defensive linemen, in fact, are walk-ons, John. Oh, nice play. Nice play. Gator is dropped for a loss. By the way, in a telecast, you don't want to leave anything hanging. You bring something up early in the ballgame and you forget to follow up with it. Well, I asked the question on what we were talking about early in the ballgame. What is the second oldest city in the United States? Remember the question?
Yeah, can I make a guess?
Yes, you may.
How about Boston?
Santa Fe, New Mexico is the second oldest city.
Get out of here.
It blew my mind away. All the rest are on the East Coast.
Come on.
Just thought I'd throw that in. For those of you that have been with us this afternoon, see, there's a bonus late in the ball game. Pass is complete, right flat in the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Jamie Carrot.
Good job again by Keldorf to hit a player out in the flat. A perfect throw. And then the fullback just busts through the tackle. And Carrick with the score. That's the 3rd touchdown thrown by Keldorf today. And Charlie, it appears to me that North Carolina is going to win back-to-back Toyota Gator Bowls, and they're going to have back-to-back quarterbacks who are MVPs of the Toyota Gator Bowl.
I would completely agree with that, and with that choice. Hits the upright, is caught on the rebound, can be returned for 2 points, but a tackle is made at the 20-yard line. Throw a little bit of excitement on the extra point. That was Larry Green and Dante Finger with the tackle, and that is 4 missed conversions. So the score remains Carolina 41 and Virginia Tech 3. We'll be back to the Gator Bowl in a moment. And we are back just in time. There was a flag. Josh McGee gets another shot at it. And this one is right down the middle. So making Carolina 42 and Virginia Tech 3 with 5 minutes and 1 second left to go in the Toyota Gator Bowl. And in case you joined us late, the ball game actually dominated from the get-go by Carolina. And first of all, they established their defense. They have one of the great defenses in the country. We've been talking about it. They had a chance to display it early in the first quarter, and they put their stamp on the ball game from that moment. And it was the defense that put the stamp on it for Carolina. Be sure to stay with us. It's coming up next on NBC. Emitrex will present Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular. And joining Brian are Christy Yamaguchi, country music star Kathy Mattea, and a stellar cast of Olympic medalists. That's all coming up next right here on NBC.
A lot of smiles on that North Carolina sideline. You know, I think they made their point. 42-3. They believe that they should have been in one of the Alliance Bowls.
Going to higher rank.
Sure. Felt shortchanged a little bit, that they weren't afforded a little more respect with their lone loss to Florida State. There's no embarrassment in losing to Florida State. Their head coach leaves. The defensive coordinator takes over. Things worked out pretty well, I'd say.
His debut is the bowl game. John Scales is the return man. Breaks clean along the sideline, out across the 35 to about the 36-yard line on the return. Ross McAllister with the tackle for North Carolina.
Sorensen stays in the game. Continuing, Coach Beamers is going to continue to get a good look at this guy. We've seen him run and run well.
In high school, he led her 3 seasons as a quarterback, a defensive back, a punter, a place kicker, and a snapper.
That's pretty impressive.
The pass is complete. I could understand something, but a snapper? Did he snap to himself? The man was multi-talented.
Yeah, would you say he's a versatile athlete?
Yes. Harrison with that last reception, and here's the game summary.
Yeah, Keldorf 15 of 26, 277 and 3 touchdowns. Virginia Tech 3 turnovers, resulted in 19 Carolina points, and you saw the yards that were accumulated by North Carolina's offense.
And here is Sorensen breaking clean down the sidelines and then out of bounds. 19 yards on the play.
Well, this is kind of the first game for next year. And you look at Sorensen, the head coach at Virginia Tech has given him as much of an opportunity to show, what do you got next year for us? What can you do? What might you be able to do?
42-yard line of Carolina. We're moving on the 4-minute mark, time remaining. Shelly Ellison is in the backfield for Virginia Tech. Ellison getting the call. Sophomore from Hampton, Virginia. Russell Davis, as a fumble recovery, makes the tackle, along with Merceda Perry.
Well, they're still chucking out there, though. Look at Virginia Tech, huh? Sorensen still trying to get the ball down the field. His opportunity, his big chance. There's Al Clark on the sideline. I think the flu probably got him, you know. He just didn't have enough practices down here, Charlie, to get ready for this game.
And it drains you.
Sure it does.
Being chased, ready to the side. It was a field of blue, and he decided to step across the sideline. Cedric Hodge chased him out of bounds. The 2 most valuable players, Nick Sorensen of Virginia Tech and Chris Keldorf of North Carolina.
Yeah, now the interesting thing is that Oscar Davenport, when he had ankle surgery, Keldorf said, you're not going back to the dorm, you're moving in with me. Keldorf lives with
Sorensen brought down by Cedric Hodge.
Keldorf lives with a couple of other offensive linemen, so Keldorf says, you move in with me, I'll make sure you get food, take care of you. I know how painful that is. So now in that apartment where they live, there are 2 Toyota Gator Bowl most valuable trophies, one by Oscar Davenport last year and Keldorf this year. So they take Oscar's down, they put Keldorf's up, and for Sorensen, in relief of Al Clark, and actually he's done a pretty admirable job.
Redshirt freshman.
In a tough situation against a great defense, he supplied some spark.
Yeah, it's exactly what he brought to the ballpark.
And Carl Torbush has left the coaching booth to be down on the sideline. Maybe he will get Gatorated.
We know he'll get John Dockert. North Carolina 42, Virginia Tech 3, 2:41 left, and on NBC this Saturday.
A daughter needs the pretender to clear her father's name.
My father was not a traitor.
A special 2-hour pretender. Then, the profiler is closer than ever to catching serial killer Jack.
He's still here.
Jack is in the building. A special 2-hour pretender followed by an all-new profiler, NBC Saturday.
2 minutes and 41 seconds. That is the time remaining in the ball game. Kevin Carty, redshirt freshman for Carolina, is now their quarterback. He is completed 2 of 2 passes for 52 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Dominique Williams is also in the backfield along with Jamie Carey. And the ball at the 48-yard line, Kevin Carty, the quarterback. A little bit of nervous time for him. That's the way that it's supposed to be.
Sure.
Hands off to Dominique Williams.
I don't imagine he'll throw it. I mean, 2:29 and counting, 42-3. We don't want anybody hurt. We don't want anything out of the ordinary to happen here. Just hand it off. Yep. See what happens. Let it go at that.
Second down and 9. The change of the play relayed out to the wide receiver, and they'll stay back inside with the running game. Williams getting the call. Corey Moore with the tackle. Sophomore from Brownsville, Tennessee, who has 4.5 sacks on the year.
Seldom you see a football game where in the early stages of it, the better of the two teams says, we're not playing down today, gentlemen. We're playing like our ranking. We're playing as good as we got. And Carolina took Virginia Tech out of the game early, as you said just a few moments ago, Charlie. Gave them no chance whatsoever.
Very impressive performance by Carolina. And the straight shot up the middle by Dominique Williams. And a nice hole open by that offensive line of Carolina. 20 yards on the play.
Great speed. You see that acceleration? Yes. Oh, the quarterback kind of waltzes back there and hands it to him. A little delay. Good blocking. And then watch that acceleration.
He accelerates in slow motion.
Yes, he does.
Keon Carpenter with the tackle.
That's Torbush coming out of the sideline.
Out of the sideline.
Well, a successful debut for Carl Torbush.
And he'll always remember this one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This stadium will be a favorite stadium for him. And you know, he was touched when there's a committee of 15 players that kind of serve as a leadership bunch for North Carolina, and they lobbied the athletic director.
Oh, there it is.
Torbush, and there's the Gatorade.
They trapped him. They trapped him.
He was the player's choice to be the next head coach, and he is.
I'm really impressed with him. We had a nice visit with him yesterday. Saw him at the coach's luncheon. Williams again getting the call. And Ryan Smith, whose dad was the starting safety on Virginia Tech's '68 Liberty Bowl team, makes the final tackle of this Gator Bowl.
Now that's the spot you want to be in your first game as a head coach, at the place you want to coach, on the shoulders of your players, going out to meet Frank Beamers in the middle of the field. North Carolina dominated.
And there's the Gatorade bucket. Here it is.
They held him. Who threw it? He doesn't mind.
No.
He does not mind a bit.
Let's go down to John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Charlie. Well, what do you think?
I wouldn't have your job.
What do you think? Head coaching stuff is no big deal, right?
Well, if we can continue to do this, it won't be. But I know things are going to get a little bit tougher, but it was a great win. I thought our guys just played exceptionally well. We came back second half with the urgency that we felt like we wanted to go the whole game. And, Chris Keldorf has a great way to end his career. And the defensive guy, it was a great ball game. John Linton coming back, which I didn't even have an idea that he would play today. And to do what we did, it's just a great way to end the season. And, hope this will vault us up in the polls, because I think there's no doubt in the world that we're a top 3 or 4 team right now. And, I'm going to politic with that.
You were dominating today. Now, what was the feeling? You got a little dosed on the sidelines with the Gatorade. What are you feeling right now?
Well, Probably the same as just like as defense coordinator. I just thought it was just a great win. Coach Davis and our offensive guys did a super job of getting everybody prepared. And it's just a great win. The kicking game was outstanding, and that was one area that we challenged those guys because that had been a sore spot, and I thought we won the kicking game today.
What's the nicest part of being a head coach?
Excuse me?
The nicest part of being a head coach?
Well, I'm still undefeated. I like that, so my honeymoon will go a little longer.
The toughest part?
Toughest part, I think having to deal with everyday problems. You know, you got 100 guys instead of your little 7 at linebacker, so, you know, I understand that, but I really feel like I am a people person, and I understand what makes people tick, and I think that's the reason that I'm the head coach today.
Well, certainly the players showed their appreciation and their emotions to you right at the end of the game. That you were their choice, and they showed it.
I appreciate it, John. I think so, and that's one thing that makes me really, really happy is the players being behind us and behind me and the coaches, so it's really a special feeling.
Congratulations, Coach. May you get many more.
Thank you a lot. Appreciate that.
Charlie?
A very impressive game for Carolina and for their new head coach.
And for Chris Keldorf.
Yes.
That's a great game to go out on. Carl Torbush is absolutely correct.
Right. And a lot of the players said this was a money game. The seniors are looking towards the pros, the combine, and a lot of them made huge statements today. Once again, the final score is Carolina 42 and Virginia Tech 3. Now, we'll be coming back here to the Gator Bowl in just a few moments. But first, let's go to our studio in New York City and update on what all is going on across the nation on this January 1st. Here's Hannah Storm.
This is the Sun America NBC postgame report. Here's Hannah Storm.
Hello once again. Let's quickly run through the scores from this College Bowl day, starting with a game you just watched, the Toyota Gator Bowl. And again, the final in that 42-3 as Chris Keldorf for the Tar Heels, 15 of 26, 277 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. The Heels finish 11-1, matching the best record in school history. At the Florida Citrus Bowl in Orlando, the defending national champions, the Florida Gators, leading that one 21-6 in the fourth quarter. Jaquez Green with 2 touchdown receptions for the Gators. No Curtis Enos or Joe Juravicius for Penn State. All they've managed is 2 field goals. At the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, it's a close one. Texas A&M leading number 5 UCLA 16-14. The Bruins have just scored in this one. Skip Hicks with a 41-yard touchdown reception as they look to extend their winning streak to 10 straight games. They pulled within 2 points of the Aggies. And at the Outback Bowl in Tampa, Florida, it's a final. Number 12 Georgia, a winner over Wisconsin, 33-6. The Bulldogs' Mike Bobo had a spectacular game. 26 of 28, 267 yards passing. He completed his final 19 attempts, and he was matched by a great performance by fullback Robert Edwards, who scored 3 touchdowns with 110 yards rushing. A reminder at the bottom of the hour, take a break from college football with Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular. 2 hours of world-class skating, a holiday celebration starring Boitano, the 1988 Olympic gold medalist, and Christy Yamaguchi, the 1992 Olympic champion. That's all from the Sun America post-game report. Back now to Charlie Jones, Bob Trumpy, and John Dockery at the Gator Bowl.
Once again, the final score is North Carolina 42 and Virginia Tech 3. And Bob Trumpy, here's what is going on in the middle of the field here at the Gator Bowl.
Now they're passing out the hardware. Of course, the Toyota Gator Bowl trophy to North Carolina, and to the most valuable player, Keldorf gets the trophy. And much deserved. There's the champion. And I think Carl Torbush is right. They should move up dramatically in the rankings. Came in 7th. I don't think there's any doubt that they're better than a 7th ranked team.
Any surprises today?
Yeah, the amount of yardage that North Carolina threw for. I did not think that Keldorf would be able to stand back there and throw it the way he did. The other thing, the great surprise, is John Linton and his ability to perform the way he did with that bad knee. Didn't seem to bother him that much except for that one hit. But there are Keldorf's final numbers: 15, 26, 277, 3 touchdowns.
For Virginia Tech, any bright spots?
Maybe Sorensen. Sorensen, just even though they were down and down bad,